Your entire life, you've been led to believe that the ego is the enemy, that within you lies this evil component that must be fought back against, using the forces of good, being humbleness, humility, and restraint. However, in doing so, you are taught to live a life of stillness, of boredom, and of nothingness. You are taught to desire nothing, to wish to become nothing, and to accept yourself as you are. But you see, in doing so, you lay waste to all of the drives that move you into the world, killing the truest version of you, for you exist in relation to the world, not independently from it. The world is one that is so fucking twisted that the most cowardly group of people to ever grace this planet have somehow become heralded as being these immensely wise and virtuous beings. I'm talking about the monks. They peddle this idea that there exists a self that is more real and separate from the ego. However, this is simply one that they've made up. A cope attempting to turn their impotence into something admirable. Your identity, what you are, is the ego. It is the part of you that claims ownership, the part that strives, and the part that keeps check on how you stand in relation to the world. The idea that these loser fucks came up with is one that is clung to by those who are too afraid and too weak to lift the weights that their ego asks of them, to become that to which they want to be, instead geniusly choosing to demonize their desires. In doing so, they live a life that is unimpeded by the drive to make a name for themselves. However, this comes at the steep price of letting their identities become subsumed by the world. This is because the real you isn't found in some room somewhere with your eyes closed sat on some comfy pillow. No. Rather, the real you is found in the world, aka the thing that you exist in relation to. In you chopping off your dick and silencing your desires, you quell the very thing that is meant to drive you into the world, being the thing that leads to your expression, the very thing that paints you onto the stage that is the world. In taking the advice of these bitch-ass monks, you become an artist who thinks the highest and most pure and decorated form of art is just standing in front of the canvas, zero brush in hand, straight doing nothing. This equally means that all you are is your desires. For it be your desires that drive you into the world. They are the force that takes the latent hues found within you and paints them onto the canvas, creating something beautiful in the process, creating a life that is lived. The reason that the world has done its absolute best to avert the eyes of man from the tantalizing silhouette of his ego is that it is in this separation of man from that to which he really is that keeps him shackled. In reclaiming your ego, which is simply to say, reclaiming that to which you've always been, you no longer act as an agent of the world. You no longer cling to the copes that it has made man dependent upon, and thus you no longer need to peddle its propaganda to soothe the deep and gnawing ache that exists at the very center of your long-denied being. Through this, you then become freed from the chains of indecision imposed upon you by the weakness of the world, which is then when you can begin to realize just how strong you are. For the world is incredibly fragile, and so it demands that you act in an according way, as to not inflict any damage upon it and its belief structures. This is then what results in you tiptoeing around your life, for instead of simply doing that to which you want, you've been led to believe that in doing so, you would damage yourself. That the only path forward that can be walked is one that goes directly from A to B, zero twists, zero turns. However, I'm here to tell you, I'm here to declare, and I'm here to pronounce that it is in doing what you want that you get what you want. While giving wholly into doing whatever you want will likely lead to you slamming an entire 6-pack of beers, followed by taking an entire pack of cigarettes to the dome first thing in the morning for breakfast. However, it is equally only in allowing for yourself to do so that you can, without the guilt-infested and riddled mind that the world would have you adopt, that rapes you of your clarity. And it is only in doing so that you can come to see if this way of engaging with the world is actually one that is in alignment with that to which you want from life. So you can choose to stand still for the world, for if you move, you may come to fall over. Or you can go charging into the jungle, machete drawn in hand, letting your only compass, your only means of navigation be your desire. In doing so, you will come crashing and tearing through the very fabric of reality, because you will do the one thing that for your entire life, by all means necessary, you've been taught to avoid. And in doing so, you not only come to live more life than you have ever lived before, but you will equally come to win more than you have ever won before, beyond eclipsing those who continue to follow the rules, those who have allowed for the keys to their engine to become property of the world. And this, my men, my knights of vigor, us few who shall come to bring the world crashing to its knees. It is in us, simply doing as we please, that we shall expose all the lies, deceit, and bullshit plastered onto the face of man by the treacherous world that we now find ourselves in. Exposing the fraud and coward fucks, being the monks, for the fraudulent and coward fucks that they are. And I don't mean this as a threat, but rather as a depiction of what is to come. For you can either decide to be part of the force that shall lead to the upheaval of the way in which the world currently stands, by giving in to yourself, embracing your ego, and welcoming desire. Or you can let your feet be cemented to the floors that we shall come breaking through, either being part of the change, or being part of the unfortunate sect of humanity who shall come to be changed. It's up to you.